We've heard this before. Health officials in the U.S. are paying close attention to what's happening in Europe right now. Coronavirus cases are rising to new levels there, despite the widespread rollout of vaccines. Nearly 2 million new cases were reported in Europe last week. That is the most in a single week in that region since the pandemic started. The situation is so bad in Austria right now. They're going back into lockdown, but only for the unvaccinated. About 2 million Austrians who haven't gotten the shot are now being told to stay home and only go out for essential trips. NBC News correspondent Claudio Lavanga joins me now from Rome. So, Claudio, let's start in Austria. What's the situation there? How does this new lockdown work?
Well, this is a full lockdown, essentially, Savannah. Now, you remember that what a full lockdown looks like. Well, basically, you're allowed to go out only for the basic needs. So you need to go to the supermarket, you need to go to the pharmacy, you need to go to work, or you need to go to get that jab, that vaccination jab. And that is being essentially all the people who haven't been vaccinated in Austria are being told to do that. Stay at home unless you really have to go out. And they're doing that to try to boost the vaccination campaign, which in Austria is stuck at a little over 60%, which is very low compared to neighboring countries such as Italy, which neighbors with Austria. Here we have a vaccination rate of about 80%, which means that most of the overall majority of the adult population is now fully vaccinated, fully immunized. And we see that in the numbers. I mean, we do have a surge in cases here as well, but the hospitalization and the death toll is very, very low compared to other countries like Austria and other countries where the vaccination rate is not so high. But Austria is not the only country that is thinking about or has already introduced new lockdowns. The Netherlands, for instance, is having similar problems. They have introduced a partial lockdown, meaning that the public places like restaurants and bars and places like that, they will close early at 8 o'clock in the evening, and spectators will not be allowed, at least for the time being, to go and see sporting events, once again to try to stop that fourth wave, which is affecting the whole of Europe.
Well, Claudio, let's go east of the Netherlands and Austria, because an official at the World Health Organization is calling this specific situation in Eastern Europe truly disastrous. So 3 countries right now are reporting record daily deaths. Why is this happening, especially months after the vaccine's been available?
Well, if you think about the vaccination rate that I was mentioning earlier, 80% here in Italy and a little over 60% in places like Austria. Just look east in Eastern Europe, in places like Romania and Bulgaria, the vaccination rate there is between 25 to 35%. And that is really, really low. And what's happening there? What you expect. There is a surge in the number of cases and the number of infections with record-breaking numbers since the start of the pandemic 2 years ago. And there is a surge also in the number of people who are dying there. The health system is completely overwhelmed. Essentially, what they're experiencing in Eastern Europe, it sounds like, and it looks like a first wave, not a fourth wave, because of the very low vaccination rate. Because if you combine that with the complacency among the population with the wearing of the masks or keeping social distance because people during the summer think it's all over, well, that's the result that you have.
All right, Claudio Lavanga, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.